hell out of here. Hey, get up off that bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you. It's forbidden to walk at night here without a light.
Yeah. 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 Ja! 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 Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Watch where you're going, you louse. You nearly killed me.
What the?
What?
Hey, you've no business here. Clear off or you'll be sorry.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What was that noise?
You've no business here. Clear off, or you'll...
Something you're looking for? Damn!
God be with you, Henry. Congratulations on winning the tournament. I'm proud of you.
Sir, this investigation into the Neuhof massacre... it's getting a bit complicated.
What have you found out?
I tracked down a gang of robbers who recruited killers for Pribyslavitz. They know the Horsons who torched Neuhof.
That's excellent news. Did you find out any more?
So far, not much. If I'm going to infiltrate them, I have to do what they say. That means murdering one of their former cronies, a fellow they call Pius. Apparently he was at Neuhof too.
You have to kill a criminal to prove yourself to them? Huh. I don't much like the sound of it.
That's not the worst of it. This Pius is hiding out in the monastery pretending to be a novice. I'd have to get inside the cloisters to get at him.
Good God above, that's another matter entirely. They don't let just anyone into the cloisters, and the abbot won't give up any of the novices. Secular law has no jurisdiction inside the monastery. But this is the second time that something untoward has happened there. First the counterfeiters, now this. I'd be glad to have someone take a look inside.
What should I do with Pius once I find him?
Don't kill him. Bring him to the bailiff in Rattay. He'll interrogate the man and give him a fair trial.
It doesn't sound like an easy task, sir. Getting into the cloisters, finding Pius, and then getting him to the bailiff.
Far from it, lad. But I have confidence in your abilities.
It seems like the only way to find Pius is to join the order. Damned if I know how, though.
A bit of meditation and learning would do you good. If it's really the only way to get to him, then you'll have to do it. I'm sorry I can't be of much help. Sadly, my relations with the monastery aren't entirely congenial. You'll have to figure something out for yourself. Goodbye.
Yeah.
at home? A torch will help. Your fields lie fallow.
What do you need? God be with you.
Let's have a word about the price.
Well,
What about this?
close. See now.
Here's a hoe. Need straw for the winter? You'll need a rake.
Yeah. Yeah.
God be with you, good sir. May the Lord watch over you.
Let's have a word about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Are we agreed?
A nice sum. Just lower your demands a little and we'll agree. Aye, for that amount I can be persuaded.
Yeah.
Bread! Bread! Rolls and pretzels!
Garlic, carrots, beetroot, onions. All that grows in the ground. Fresh.
Že od mé milej neskoro chodím od milej.
Carrots that'll make you and your family happy. Onions that'll make you cry. And garlic that'll keep evil spirits at bay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sucker. It's hellishly deep here. Yeah. 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 What was that noise?
You're dead. Ow! I'm gonna enjoy this. Ah! Bollocks! Headbutt! Bring it on. To hell with...
Is that all you've got?
Someone there? Bring it on. Fuck it! Here! You fucking dog! You're dead.
Now, now.
Look out! There's an enemy here! You call that combat? Look out! There's one of those bastards!
Fuck!
Yeah! Yeah!
And your history.
Yeah! Take that! Missed!
You're going to cry now.
Cut!
What's the matter? Come. Here!
I'll wipe my ass with you.
Watch out! There he is!
Yeah! Come here. You're dead. What's the matter? Come on. Could have had it. Bring it on.
Take that.
Yeah.
Hey, who's there?
You gonna cry now?
What are you doing here? Tired of life, are you? Lost your wind?
God damn! Damn!
Sets him up red. Just when I wanted to vent my rage on someone. You know how this one ends. It's all.
God!
Missed.
Got weak at the knees, have you?
Yeah. Come here, Lily Liver. Yeah. Ha! You're dead. Is that all you got?
Watch out!
I'll find
I see
you,
an enemy!
you jerk. You can't hide from me. Oh,
I see
dear God. Ah! Yeah! Ah! Ow! Oh. Ah! What's that? Ah! Who's there? What are you doing here? Side of life, are you? Oh, you fucked up there. Jesus Christ! Yeah. Now.
What have we got here? Great.
Ow! Oh, Christ!
Take that.
Hey, who's there?
Had enough?
Stop, hear me? Stop! I give up!
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Come on, cuntface. What are you doing here? Tired of life, are you?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hey, get out of here! This is no place for the likes of you!
Ow!
Watch where you're going, you lout! You nearly killed me! Get out! Be off, I say!
Look out.
Be gone from here! Get out, you bastard, or I shan't...
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Don't move a finger. Surrender! You're under arrest for breaking the law.
I yield.
Gotcha! Now I'll fix you good and proper. You'll soon learn what justice means.
What?
Don't play games with me. I know full well about the assaults you committed. Your victims remember you very well, and I haven't even started on your other crimes. You should have thought twice about what you're doing. That will land you a fat fine.
Look, I'll tell you the truth, but you mustn't tell anyone. The Lord of Rat Eye sent me on a secret...
Well, I thought, that is, I had...
Our sausages will still taste good. If your husband is murdered, our sausages will be here. Come and get them.
What the?
God almighty, has something happened to you? Did someone steal your fancy clothes? See you later.
Let's have a word about the price.
All right, so?
Agree?
That sounds pretty interesting. A little less and I'll be satisfied. See now? I knew. Take care. Good luck then.
Salami, sausages, meat of all shapes.
Good luck then.
I'd like to discuss the price. Agree?
I'd almost shake.
From the woods or from the pen. It all tastes delicious.
All right, so? Goodbye.
Can we do something about the price?
All right, so?
Since it's you...
Come now, just a little more. Aye, that would do.
Yeah.
What was that?
Good health to you. Farewell. Farewell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
after the Talmberg attack on the camp. I wouldn't expect too much of it.
No? Why is that?
A handful of bandits there.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
He gave me the papers and left me at the gate. You must be used to that, though. I'm not the first novice here, am I?
But that wasn't very considerate of him, was it? It's been so hectic here lately, novices arriving one after the other. The last one didn't even have a letter, and you'd think his backside was on fire, the way he kept looking over his shoulder.
You took him without the letter? You didn't find that suspicious?
My guess is he wanted to hide from someone. But he's a priest and knows how things work in the monastery. So there was nothing to prevent him from being accepted, at least temporarily. You're a different case, though. Are you able to read?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of St. Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
Not yet.
What are you waiting for? The world...
I just have to deal with...
And the lure of Mammon. God be with you.
Look out.
I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep. Quiet! can't sleep again. Quiet! I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep. can't. I just can't. I can't sleep again.
I'm back and I'm ready now. I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance. Take care now.
Strange feeling being without all of that. I didn't realise how much I'd grown used to it.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam. Et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
It was my choice. For a common lad like me, it's the easiest way to get an education and do something worthwhile with my life.
It looks like we're both here for the same reason. I think we'll get along.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs. Peace be with you, brother. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren, and above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of St. Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how.
And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here. I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother, and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
The forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
The book's stood in there out for your eyes to see.
that'll be soon solved.
God
So
be
wonder
with
the
you.
prior doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'll soon get his...
Salve. Be well.
Can't sleep, prays long into the night.
These not. I pull those idlers by the ears.
What have they done to you this time, brother?
They're shirking their responsibilities, leaving us their superiors. Yet again, I've had enough.
These novices. I'd pull those idlers by the ears.
What have they done to you this time, brother?
They're shirking their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors, to chase around after them, finishing what they
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
It's a wonder the prior doesn't check everyone's breath. They'd soon get him out.
This looks like the dregs after a night's drinking. Who could be coming here?
You might be wrong. And besides,
Salve, Domine.
It looks like I found a little monastic treasure trove. I wonder who stuffs that here.
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
Not now, brother. After Mass.
Salve, be well.
Don't move a muscle.
Brother? Where were you during Mass? Don't tell me you didn't know that Holy Mass is the foundation on which your life here is built.
I was feeling a bit queasy.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you. But next time you'll be punished, just like everyone else.
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church during the ceremony. I have a feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm a Sakator.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything is the way it should be.
And when it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
I may not sin with my tongue, I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since this spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for
I'm
coarse
Gregor,
jests,
a novice.
idle words,
I
or
saw you at
words
the
that move
ceremony.
to laughter,
I
these we
know.
condemn
It was
everywhere
hard
with
not to notice you.
back.
And you are?
And for such conversation we do not
Lucas,
permit
also a
disciples
novice.
to
Don't
open
get
his
upset,
mouth.
but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest
The rule of
alone.
Saint Benedict Greetings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silent.
Tell me about Antonius.
Here the
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
In much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary.
Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict.
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table...
Listen, brother. Is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get hold of something, well, something that's not so readily available?
Oh, yes. And what sort of thing are you talking about exactly? I'll forget about it, brother, and focus on prayer and work.
Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the...
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humble, but kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death...
Praise be to Christ, brother.
...power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices.
And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should
I'm interested in Lucas.
humility and submission.
No one knows much about him.
He doesn't talk to anyone. He works, eats, sleeps, then does it all again the next day. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with as soon as possible. By it, I mean his entire life.
That's all, thanks.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them...
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's son. But you could ask Brother Salarius. They say he used to be a thief.
Let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be set rather early at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them...
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to hide. I'd keep well clear of him if I was you.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circators who make the rounds despise him, and they'd never punish anyone without cause.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore,
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be set rather early at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the
My name's Gregor, a novice.
glory of life everlasting.
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
What is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
In his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God. who sees that his heart is murmuring.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
Permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
Jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing. If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it. But to get rid of me while he's still alive...
From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them...
They must have realised you robbed them.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my brothers, my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
Rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to...
What about the dagger?
Or drive them away with...
That's a memento of better times. Father gave me that when I was a little lad. And it's done right by me more than once, when I got drunk somewhere with the wrong sort of people.
Do you know how to fight?
And how? Boozing and brawling. God, how I miss that here.
The holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting. As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it.
Tell me more about the book.
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Prejudice.
The rule of Saint
But you're right. It is prohibited.
Readings on the app.
For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
He ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his
You're right.
for those of harder
Knowledge should never be
hearts
prohibited.
and minds.
Oh, I'm glad you agree.
Always remember
Just
what
take a
he
look
is
at the book.
and what he is called.
Maybe you'll be able to make some sense of it.
More is
I haven't
said.
grasped a single syllable.
From him, more
Just
is
please
required.
don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble.
Unless it be one
Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silo, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with
What kind of a book is it?
the first and second time.
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond. Who knows what it means?
Oh.
And again,
I'm not too sure what the...
Fred.
And you will deliver his soul from death.
You're right.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. Just please.
The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be accepted.
There's a lot of coin in the stash. You have to admit it looks suspicious.
I admit it might look that way. But if I tell you what I'm hiding from everybody, I think you'll understand why. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of
I see. And if you give me a few coins for myself, I won't tell anyone else about it.
What? A man pours his heart out to you when you play Judas. How about this for an offer? Say a word about this to anyone and I'll wring your neck. Touch anything I've buried here and you'll get the same. Are we clear?
In much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent or to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual
What do you
labor,
desire, Brother Gregor?
again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices.
Calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic life than him.
You don't know young Lord Capon.
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him, fighting, drinking, fornicating, but then he ended up in here.
Read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned.
Why is he in the monastery?
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding from something. Or maybe he's being punished.
Do you think he has a secret?
Don't we all? But unlike the others, he absolutely refuses to speak about his life before the monastery.
Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness.
That's all I wanted to know about him. Thanks.
Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor.
What about Yodok?
Again, at fixed hours in sacred reading.
Be on good terms with him. If you show even the slightest hint you don't like him,
he'll make your life hell. He's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate, I imagine he'll want to climb his way up the ladder to at least Sir Cater. He's a man who enjoys ordering others around.
Apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on
That's
their
all.
desks
Thanks.
in perfect silence. Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren...
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nevlis, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear
Tell me
of
about
God
yourself.
and the glory of life everlasting.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
Done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with ill will, not necessarily with his lips,
What troubles you?
then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
I need to get hold of some kind of weapon.
Well, I can't help you with that. And besides, what use would a weapon be in here?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lock picks? And what would you like those for?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, so?
Since it's you.
Well, a little more and we'll call it a deal. Aye. For that amount, I can be persuaded.
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I'd like to ask you something.
Peace be with you, brother. What would you like?
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. What would you like?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
be with you, brother. What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Oh, Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always travelling on top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him with many more years of life.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Well, then we elect a new one.
Are there any candidates to be the new abbot?
Yes, there are. Brothers John and Nevlas. Oh, cursed elections. Since the brothers began talking about them, and there's only been strife in the monastery. On one side are brothers who'd like to see John as abbot, on the other those who support Nevlas, and they seem to be capable of fighting about it forever.
Tell me about John.
John is Cicator and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crozier from Peter. He has experience, merit, and composure. He'd lead the monastery wisely.
I'd like to know about Nevlas.
Nevlas manages the monastery's properties. He doesn't have the most experience, but his drive and heart are pure. His faith firm, and his ideas rational. Although perhaps he's too keen to change our routines here, which many brothers don't like.
Why does it matter so much who wins?
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the balance. The younger brothers feel they have to work more than their superior brothers, and that some brothers are more concerned with their own comfort than with worshipping God. The older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privilege they haven't earned, and each side has its own candidate.
I thought politics weren't part of the monastic way of life.
You're right. But we know nothing besides the monastery, and the abbot's decision can influence our entire life. Some of the brothers take it very personally.
What can you tell me about the novices here?
And what can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
What can you tell me about the novice?
And what can I say? You're here to demonstrate.
I meant something specific about the...
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules, which we still follow today. They're read at every meal. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world, beyond the monastery walls, is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue, the grass is just as green. Perhaps the ruler's changed, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged throughout the ages.
Someone really reeked at Matins.
You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there. And it's not the first time.
It's a mystery, but one that'll be soon solved. It's a wonder the prior doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'd soon get his man. Please be with me.
Shirking their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors, to chase around
Peace be with you, brother.
Service.
Gloria in excelsis
Oh, you're interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget about them. What would you like?
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
I have no idea. Why don't you ask Brother Librarian? Get away from that cabinet. The books stood in there aren't for your eyes to see.
What would you like?
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Peace be with you, brother.
Oh, this is quite inexcusable, boy. Can you even read?
Don't even look at that cabinet. It contains forbidden books. Oh, you're interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know, but I've no time for idle chat. I transcribe books from dawn till dusk. I've been doing it for years, and I'll be doing it till the day I die.
What, you do nothing else?
It is my penance and my blessing. And now, brother, if you don't mind, I'd like to get this page finished. Get away from that cabinet. The books stood in there aren't for your eyes to see. Don't even look at that cabinet. It contains forbidden books. Oh, you're interested in what's inside? Written by the devil himself. Forget about it.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Not now, brother. After Mass.
Filio
warmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay.
Praise be to our Lord
this
Jesus.
This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay.
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay.
Who would you choose as the new abbot if you could?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote? Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business. You'll sleep better at night.
Not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart. Then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be
I'm
acceptable
telling you,
to
someone's
God,
been creeping
who
around in the
sees
corridor
that
at
his
night.
heart is
Oh,
murmuring.
what am I saying, creeping?
And far from
He was
gaining
stomping
reward
about
for
like a
such
bear.
work as this,
That must have been
he will
Brother
incur
Cicada.
the punishment
He can't
of
sleep and
murmurers.
prays long into the night.
Peace be with
Salve
you.
Domine.
Salve. Be well. Salve.
I'm telling you,
Be well.
someone's been creeping around in the corridor at night. Oh, what am I saying, creeping? He was stomping about like a bear.
That must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I'd be interested to hear. That's all.
Peace be with you, brother.
What troubles you? I'd like to ask you something about the.
Prays long into the night.
Still seems like only yesterday she went to the good Lord.
Aye. You're right there. Life is short.
So, someone really reeked at matters. You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there.
Peace be with you, brother.
It's a mystery, but one that'll be soon solved. It's a wonder the prior...
You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there. Not the first time.
Apage Satanus!